Welcome back to the Social Made Simple show. My name is Ryan Chasen, and today we are joined by none other than the Director of Client Services for Social Made Simple, Veronica Jackson. Veronica, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ryan. Good to be here. So I started off actually in broadcast journalism. So I did the news for a few years. And then oddly enough, found a role with Walt Disney for their Texas division, which really got me into the marketing and advertising
Mhm.
space. So I got obviously working with that kind of a brand, tremendous experience and learning the background of marketing and advertising from a larger role perspective. That translated to my role of almost 5 years with an advertising agency out of Boulder, Colorado. It was originally in Dallas, and I got the benefit of working with large household name brands at that business, but also still the smaller mom and pop businesses. So I got a good diversity of clients by working there. With SMS, that was the first, to my knowledge, completely virtual hire. So it
Yep.
is odd that I've never met my team in person. That was a different experience for me, but I was so excited during the interview process because I could tell that the leadership team was somebody who was truly invested in their team and cared about their clients. And that's just such a tough mix to find, especially
Mhm.
when, these days working with an advertising company. So I was so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think ever since, having you on the team and, you and I even worked on, like the smaller business level to then having you go up to being Director of Client Services. How did that really, how was that for you? Because I feel like coming into it again, being like one of our very first virtual hires and really having a great snapshot in terms of almost every facet of the company. So if you could talk a little bit more about that.
I think I was actually pretty lucky to get that experience. The agency that I worked at prior to Social Made Simple, I had a similar experience. I started at the very beginning level of the company, which was called an interactive producer there, and then worked my way up to the director. So, and able to completely do your job correctly, you have to know every facet of the company. So, starting at the bottom level where you're writing content or looking at the ads or doing client relationship management, you get that
Mhm.
perspective. And then as you work your way up to the director, you can still talk to those behind the scenes actions that are going on as well. So I found that really beneficial coming into Social Made Simple as well, because it's not just an advertising platform, it's its own separate platform. So I knew the Facebook and Instagram side very well, but I came into Social Made Simple and got to learn the background of the platform, which was interesting as well.
Yeah, I still remember the first day coming into work, and I was there with Matt, who's one of our content leads now. We were hired in the same pool. So viewing the platform for the first time was definitely, it was exciting to me, a little bit intimidating because I hadn't seen something like that before, besides more of like the retail platforms that you kind of see from like a casual Google search. But it's definitely been very interesting to see how our platform and just how our services have evolved even throughout 2020 and kind of adapting throughout the pandemic and with the different businesses on the small business and the franchise side. With a lot of these franchises, they have so many options and um, especially just when it comes down to, what we do on the program level. Um, but again, we still work with small businesses and medium businesses. So from your point of view, again, having seen both sides of it, what do you feel like are the differences between executing the franchise level programs that we do versus working with the mom and pop shops, small businesses that are also a super important part of our clientele?
Right. For our clients, it's looking at different strategies through the same lens. So whether it's a small business or a very large, well-known corporation, it's the same lens and the same goal that we're trying to achieve. We want to generate business for our customers, and that's the ultimate goal. But it's how we approach it that has to be that different strategy. For more smaller mom and pop shops, we have to establish the company first, get their name
Yep.
out there, get awareness. If you have a brick and mortar shop, we want to get the name of your store out there. So when people are driving by, they know who you are and they want to go in the store because they've seen and heard about who you are. So we have to
Mhm.
establish their presence before we can generate that traffic into their store or to their online website. With larger brands, it's a little bit different because most of them have established their presence online and have a brand behind them. So with them, we look at it through the lens of creative, of do they need a creative refresh? Do we need a bit of a rebranding and making sure that their creative is up to date and trendy? And then also with larger brands, we can look a bit at the bigger picture. What have you guys done in the past that have worked well? What have you
Mhm.
done that has not worked well? And take insights off of that and apply it to our campaign. So we can do maybe lead gen campaigns with them while additionally doing traffic-based campaigns. So with the larger businesses, it's more about making sure that their brand is seen in the best light. With the smaller, medium businesses, it's more about establishing their brand in the first place than generating those leads and sales.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I think especially with going back to what we said about some brands going in 2020, this was their first time making a first big digital push and investment into their online presence, social media, advertising campaigns. So I think it can be tricky, especially when you're approaching it from a lens of, this is really ground zero. This is like where we're starting from. But I can definitely speak to that. Our team has done an amazing job with a lot of these clients and accounts, just being patient, because like I said, a lot of this was their first crack at being able to really establish their digital presence. Um, what is your day to day? Being director of client services, I don't think there really is a day to day for you. But maybe even just a week to week might be a better depiction of what your role really consists of.
Gonna say how long you got for this interview because it's pretty lengthy, but I will try to break it down. So my role at its core is a bit twofold. So primarily I'm responsible for overseeing client strategy and performance and just
Mhm.
overseeing our programs as a whole. But the other side, which I'm very passionate about, is overseeing our internal team. So the ads team, the content team, and then now the client success and management team. So an average day, most average at least, is balanced between the strategy calls on the client end, our program level calls, and then our
Yeah.
internal process calls, and then an occasional email in the 5 minutes between those calls. So that's in a nutshell what an average day is.
When it comes to the companies that we work with, there's a million choices out there for social media agencies. And of course, even throughout 2020, I feel like it really pushed the entire business world into focusing on their online presence, focusing on how they reach their customers and clients digitally, whether they liked it or not. So, in a space that is rapidly changing, how do you feel like, that our team stays educated when it comes to everything social media and continuing just to apply best practices as time goes on?
Yeah, that's something I'm strongly passionate about is making sure that we're implementing education sessions as a part of our team workflows. So actually carving out time on your calendar, setting an hour to yourself to whether it's watching YouTube videos or going on to Facebook Blueprint and making sure that your certifications are up to date, just staying
Mhm.
on top of the trends and the technology developments that are coming every day. And also taking from that what's viable for our clients versus what's not. Some
Mhm.
trends are just a flavor of the week versus some trends are worth investing into our practice and our business and can turn into success for our clients. So I think it's important when looking at these educations, being able to define between the two of what's just a trend of the moment versus, okay, this is really something that we can take and bring to our business and our clients. Let's learn more about this as a team. But carving out that actual time on your calendar every week is the absolute key. Just take an hour each week to keep up with trends and stay within the know of your space.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is something that can really get lost in the day-to-day and more monotonous, tasks that everyone has on their plate. Where, of course, we have the big picture things in mind of, being able to really push the company forward. But like you said, it really does make a difference when you carve out that hour throughout the week, just being able to make sure that, even the most minute articles can be something to share with the team and make a monumental difference with our workflow.
So we actually just divided our team into three sections with a bit of a restructure. So we
Yep.
have the client success team, the ads team, and the content team. So what a lot of agencies run into, and it's very difficult, is how do we balance all of the needs of our clients while being able to master them? So we looked at that, looked at our options, and decided to split our team into where they were the strongest. We have some people internally that have a really good strength with client communications and relationships versus
Yep.
the other half of our team. They're in the back end of the ads, they're the technology guys and girls, and they're the ones that love diving into analytics and spreadsheets. So it's like, let's put people where they belong and with what they enjoy, and they can truly become a master at what they're doing, which is going to benefit not only our clients, but us, and make their day-to-day lives better, just as a whole, working for the company and for our clients.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it also just comes down to playing to their strengths,
Mhm.
because when you have someone that, is specializing in a certain, just aspect of what we do, I feel like it only helps our team grow that much more, especially with then being able to have much deeper dives, cross education, educating, self-educating, all of those things I feel like go hand in hand. So when it comes to ad campaigns, whether it's lead gen, website traffic, brand awareness, whatever the objective may be, what is your typical approach, and how do you feel like companies can be successful when launching their campaigns, no matter what the goal?
Yeah, so it always starts with just a conversation with the client, talking about where they are, where they want to be, what their goals as a company are, even past just advertising and marketing. And so when you have that open conversation, it's easy for us to play that into our advertising and marketing on their behalf. And then from there, we take it to an internal team discussion. So we get their ideas, their business goals, and we're like, how can we make the magic happen? And that's where the ad strategy comes into play. For some people, they just want to get their name out there. So we want to have an awareness play. Other ones are looking to generate business immediately. So we're doing more of that lead generation campaign for them. But one of my favorite things of working with smaller medium businesses is them getting to see what social media marketing can do for them. So many people come in and they're like, oh, it's just posting a picture. Oh, here's a funny meme of the day. And yes, that's some of
Yep.
it. That's part of the enjoyment of social media in general. But watching them say, oh my gosh, this is people actually recognizing my brand, walking into my store and knowing who I am solely because of what they saw on social media. It's a business within itself. It's a money generating machine. And when people start to see that side of it, I love seeing their excitement and the transition and their, people's attitude towards social media and advertising in general. It's its own business entity for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a lot of small to medium businesses, they see it, some of them see it as, just this platform more so for enjoyment. They don't see, the return on investment that it can actually bring. But again, working with some of our clients throughout 2020 and even going into this year, where this is their first real crack at social media, being able to talk about, the positive return on investment that we've been able to produce, is just always an exciting conversation to have, especially when they're seeing it come to life, whether that's through lead gen, just having more individuals click over to their website. So I think a lot of great points there. So last question, and I'm really interested in getting your opinion on this. What has been your favorite thing about working at Social Made Simple thus far? Because you are virtual and with the hiring process, so I think a lot of the in-office things that we did as a team have obviously been lost, over the past year or so now. But what has been your favorite thing?
It's going to sound cheesy, but it's very true. It's the team. I absolutely love this team. I'm so lucky to work with a team. Like, we truly care about each other. It's collaborative. It's fun. We have things like coffee break where we're making jokes for 15 minutes on a Friday morning. And we have happy hours, even though it's virtual, it's not the same. I wish I could see you guys in person. And, eventually when post COVID hopefully happens, go out to a bar and get a drink, but that's just not reality right now. But
Yeah.
Social Made Simple has done such a good job of making it feel normal virtually. So I'm just lucky to be with this team. And there's such a diverse background that we all have something to bring to the table that's different than the other one. So that's the main reason I joined the team. I saw the leadership truly cared about the team on top of their client success. And it's just such a rare combination to find. So I'm thankful to be part of the team that cares so much about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let the record show this morning we actually had a word unscramble challenge, and I got half of the word right, and then we figured it out, and then Veronica stole it from
Lightly
us.
cheated, but stole it.
Um, I don't know if you cheated. I feel like I just deserve kind of an assist, so we'll say honorable mention, but you were the winner. Um,
Somebody else
but
to be last. Hard issue this time.
but I think we touched upon a lot of great things in this interview. I'm so happy we were able to do this because it has been a long time coming. Because I think we've been trying to do this for a couple months now, especially with just you and some of the other folks on the executive team having just crazy schedules. So I was so glad that we were able to just get this time today. But that is all the questions that I have. So be sure to check out the rest of our interviews with our team at socialmadesimple.com under our resource center. But until then, we will see you next time.
Thanks, Ryan.